Hello viewers, welcome to my channel. Let's discuss new set of questions and let's start with question number 1. A company manufacturing a product containing hazardous material redesigns the packaging so that the box containing the product can be used to return the product to the manufacturer. This is an example of which of the following? Option A, modular design. Option B, quality function deployment. Option C, design for reverse logistics. Option D, standardization or universality. Okay, let's evaluate option A, modular design. Modular design is a product design in which you can put together different components of a product to create variety of other similar products like modular bookshelves which can be transformed into different designs. It has nothing to do with the redesigning of the packaging. So this is not the correct answer. Let's see what we have in option B, quality function deployment. QFD is eliminating the gap between QFD. By QFD, I mean quality function deployment. QFD is eliminating the gap between customer expectation from the product and what product is capable of delivering. Again, this aspect is related to the quality of the product and has nothing to do with the package redesigning. This is not the right answer as well. Option C says design for reverse logistics. Now, before we evaluate this option, I would advise you to read the question again. You will realize that this question is talking about two major aspects of a product. Number one, product has a hazardous content in it. Number two, company has redesigned the packaging so that the product can be returned to the manufacturer. Since question is talking about product return, therefore answer is quite evident that the product is designed for reverse logistics. Now, just to strengthen your concept, I would like to ask my viewers, why would the company want to invest in a packaging and a reverse logistics function? The answer is quite simple. Because the product is hazardous and the company doesn't want its customers to go through the hassle of disposing it off after use. Reverse logistics function in this particular scenario is considered as part of the customer service. So this is the correct answer. Let's have a word on option D, standardization. I have already explained standardization is in my other video multiple times. Therefore, I'm not discussing it here again. If you have watched my other videos, you can easily figure out the standardization has that standardization has nothing to do with the product return. Question 2. Which of the following design strategies would most likely be responsible for the fact that only one screwdriver is needed to remove all the screws securing a computer case and to unfasten all components from the motherboard inside? I have shared example of screwdriver in my earlier video as well, and if you have watched all my videos, then you can easily attempt this question now. Anyway, let's have a quick review again. Option A says design for the environment. Option B says design for remanufacture. Option C is design for logistics. Option D is component commonality. Let's evaluate option A, design for the environment. Design for the environment falls under sustainability practices and has nothing to do with the given example. Sustainability means meeting our needs without compromising the needs of future generations. For example, reusable grocery bags rather than using plastic bags. Producing electricity through solar panels instead of conventional power plant. Wind farms and organic food are all examples of sustainability. As I said, that environment has nothing to do with the given example of a screwdriver, so this is not the correct answer. Now, before I move on to the next option, I would like to inform my viewers that my videos and lectures are not about selecting the right answer. My videos are about discussing each aspect of the question and imparting as much knowledge as I can so that my viewers can have a strong foundation of concepts. Let's see what we have in option B. It says design for remanufacture. Again, design for remanufacture falls under sustainability practices and has nothing to do with the given example. You must be wondering how remanufacturing relates to sustainability. Let me give you an example. There are some companies and organizations which collect electronic waste like old television sets, outdated computers and mobile phones and take those parts out which are usable from these items. Then they use these old parts in repairing or producing a new product instead of manufacturing a new part by consuming more planet resources. So actually they are being environment friendly. This is how design for remanufacture strategy relates to sustainability. Anyway, this strategy doesn't relate to give an example of this question, therefore this is not the right answer. Let's see what we have in option C, design for logistics. As the name suggests, design for logistics strategy focuses on designing a product in such a way that it is easier for transportation. For example, plastic chairs which can be stacked on each other for ease of transportation, or crate of water bottles. This option is not relating to the question in any manner, so this is not the correct answer as well. Let's see what we have in option D, component commonality. Since we are left with only one choice and therefore you must have figured out that this is the correct answer, but let's see how component commonality relates to the question. You have to evaluate this question from a different angle. Question is talking about using one screwdriver to unfasten the whole computer case and other components, which means that the computer manufacturer has used one common screw to fasten the whole computer, which is an example of component commonality. This is a little tricky question, and the question maker wanted you to think the other way around. You will have questions like these in your exam, so try to build associations with the given scenario to conclude the answer. Question 3. Which of the following is a likely outcome of asking suppliers to participate in an organization's product design effort? Option A, the organization might develop enough trust in the supplier to have them take the lead on overall design. Option D, the product quality could be improved without significantly increased costs. Option C, the product could take longer to be introduced to the market. Option D, the supplier could introduce lower quality materials into the design. Let's evaluate option A. The organization might develop enough trust in the supplier to have them take the lead on overall design. This is not practical. Product design is a significant aspect of the product. You cannot trust or depend on someone else to design your product. So this is not the correct answer. Option B, the product quality could be improved without significantly increased cost. Let's recall who are suppliers and why do we need them. Suppliers are the source of providing raw materials for your product. They provide the basic ingredients of your product. So always remember that they are the significant players in your business. Involving suppliers in your product design will definitely give a competitive edge by improving quality without increasing the cost of the product. Let me tell you how. Let's say you are introducing washing detergent and there is one specific ingredient ABC which is responsible to produce shyness in the laundry during the washing process. Cost of ABC ingredient is $2 per kg, but your supplier suggested you to use XYZ ingredient instead of ABC, which cost only $1 per kg and produces more shyness than the one you have selected. Now, this particular suggestion from supplier will eventually reduce the cost of your product with improved quality. Your supplier can suggest you that ABC ingredient is the imported raw material and you can face disruptions in the supply anytime. There might be many other aspects which your supplier can unleash for you before finalizing a product design. Therefore, it is always good to involve all the partners in a supply chain while designing a product. Hope it is evident that option B is the correct answer of this question. Let's have few words on option C and D as well. Option C says the product could take longer to be introduced to the market. Absolutely wrong. Your supplier will help you to introduce the product faster in the market since he will save your time to do research in finding out the appropriate raw material of your product design. So this is not the correct choice. Option D, the supplier could introduce lower quality materials into the design. Why would he do that? His success is somewhat dependent upon your success. For him, you are his customer. If he will not supply you product as per your quality standards, then obviously you will not do business with him. Question 4. Which of the following design philosophies is most responsible for furniture that comes in kit form to be assembled by the retail customer at home? Option A, design for manufacture and assembly. Option B, design for logistics. Option C, design for the environment. Option D, design for quality. Let's evaluate option A. Design for manufacture and assembly, DFMA. DFMA involves manufacturing function in the initial stages of the product, designed to ease manufacturing and assembly. Like production of an automobiles, all the parts, doors, roof, lights, interiors, etc. are manufactured separately and then they are assembled at a later stage into a final product, and that is what DFMA is. Let's evaluate option B, design for logistics. There are two aspects in this question which should be considered closely while evaluating the answer. First aspect is that question is talking about furniture that comes in a kit. Why a company would prefer to produce a product in a kit? Why not a complete product in an assembled form? The answer is quite simple, that the company is focusing on design for logistics strategy. Second aspect of this question is that the furniture can be assembled by the retail customer at home. Why the company wants its customer to assemble the furniture at home? We all know that when we talk about furniture, we immediately think of big trucks carrying the furniture to our house. Therefore, again, this particular aspect communicated that product is big and difficult to transport, and therefore company wants the customer to assemble it at home. I always advise my viewers to connect the questions with as many examples as possible. Just few minutes ago, while answering question number 2, I have shown you a picture of stacked up chairs, which is another example of design for logistics product. Okay, now let's getting back to this option. Please don't mix this strategy with DFMA. DFMA involves manufacturing and question doesn't talk about manufacturing. So you have to be careful while selecting the answer and understanding the complete question. I always advise my viewers to read the question twice. I would suggest you to please watch my video on golden tips for passing CSCP exam so that you can apply those tips here while solving these questions with me. Let's have few words on option C and D. C says design for the environment. Question doesn't talk about sustainability or environment, therefore this option is completely irrelevant. Desire for quality, again question doesn't talk about quality as well, therefore this option is also irrelevant. Question 5. An organization using mass customization has had complaints of defective products. The cause is a valve installed backward in final assembly at the distribution center. Which of the following would address the root cause of the problem? Option A, perform the final assembly at the plant rather than the distribution centers. Option B, postpone the final assembly until after the product is at the distribution center. Option C, train the distribution center employee to install the valve correctly. Option D, redesign the product so the valve can be installed only one way. Let's evaluate option A. Perform the final assembly at the plant rather than distribution centers. First, I would like to tell you that this is a tricky question and I want you to hear the explanation with full concentration. Now, if you read the question carefully, you will realize that the question has used the term mass customization, which means that final assembly will be performed near the customer. I have suggested my viewers multiple times that whenever I talk about mass customization, immediately connect it to my previous example of a Subway sandwich. Option A suggests that the final assembly will be performed at the plant, which is contrary to the question. Therefore, this cannot be the right answer. This is contrary to the mass customization concept. So this cannot be the right answer. Let's see what we have in option B. Postpone the final assembly until after the product is at the distribution center. This is what they are already doing as mentioned in the question. They are already assembling the product at the distribution center. So this option is just listed here to boggle your mind. Let's move on to option C. Train the distribution center employee to install the valve correctly. Now this can be the right answer, but training employees require a lot of investment. What if they are doing the same mistake even after getting trained, since they are humans? There are two major issues. If we select this particular option, number 1, training requires an investment. This is an issue, okay? Number 2, human is involved. Even if you'll train it, the assembly function is being handled by human. Human is involved. Therefore, there is a chance of human error. So the problem can still persist even if you'll train the employee. Option C cannot be the permanent solution. Therefore, this is not the right answer. Let's evaluate option D. Redesign the product so the valve can be installed only one way. Absolutely correct. Let me explain you how. Number 1, by redesigning the product in such a way that valve can be installed only one way, you have completely eradicated the chance of wrong installation. Number 2, you are still maintaining the mass customization strategy as defined in the question. You are just changing the product design, but final assembly means valve installation will be carried out at the distribution center. Only difference is that now employee will not be able to install the valve in the backward direction. So this is the correct answer. Question 6. A power supply that can be used with different end cables in countries with different electrical infrastructure. This is an example of which of the following design strategies? Option A, quality function deployment. Option B, design for service. Option C, integral design. Option D, modular design. Let's evaluate option A, quality function deployment. If you have watched my earlier videos, then you can easily figure it out that this is not the correct option. Quality has nothing to do with the different end cables in countries with different electrical infrastructure. Design for service, I have explained this strategy as well in detail in my earlier lectures. Anyway, just to make you recall this strategy, I would advise you to associate it with air conditioner. Air conditioners are designed for service since you can easily clean the air filter by yourself. This particular option is not related to the question in any manner. Therefore, this is not the correct answer too. I would like to tell my viewers that sometimes discussing each topic over and over again is strenuous for me, but my objective is not to impart knowledge alone. My objective here is strengthening the core concept of my viewers by discussing a topic repeatedly for different questions under different scenarios. Anyway, let's move on to questions. Option C, integral design. Integral design is exactly opposite of modular design, in which all the components are designed to work together in one specific product. You cannot make any changes in the product as per your wish and will. Recall the example of school uniform and regular clothing and regular clothing. School uniform is integral, where you cannot change the school uniform design. But regular clothing is modular, where you can wear whatever you feel like. Question talks about different end cables with different electrical infrastructures. Therefore, integral design has no relevance with the question. Option D is modular design. Let's evaluate this one. Modular design. So, since this is the last option left, therefore, it is quite evident that this is the correct answer. But let me explain you how it relates to the question. Let's recall the definition of modular design first. Modular design is a product design in which you can put together different components of a product to create variety of similar products like modular bookshelves, which can be transformed into different designs. Now, read the first line of the question again, which says a power supply that can be used with different end cables in countries with different electrical infrastructure. So what is happening here? You have a power supply which can be transformed into another kind of a power supply to connect it with different end cables. This is the correct answer. Actually, universality is the most appropriate answer for the given scenario. But since it is not given in the choices, therefore closest match is option D, that is modular design. Sometimes you will encounter questions like these in your exams, and you will have to exercise your mind a little to derive the most appropriate answer. Question 7. Which of the following strategies represents the traditional over-the-world approach to product design? Option A, supplier design a subcomponent. Option B, formal design team includes supplier. Option C, supplier plays no role in design. Option D, supplier informally makes recommendations to design engineers. Now first you should know what is over-the-world design approach. There are two types of design approaches. Number one, over-the-world design, which is also known as traditional design, and the second one is collaborative design, which is a new approach in designing a product. In over-the-world design approach, each department works on a product until they had completed their tasks, and then they hand over the product to the next department for further working. There is no communication or collaboration between the departments, and as a result, new product is complete failure. Let me explain you over-the-world design approach with an example. Let's say you are launching a new product. Marketing people identified and communicated customer need of a new product to the engineering team. As a result, the engineering team designed a product without taking into account the product features, cost, packaging, transportation, and other aspects. Since there was no collaboration between the departments, therefore, the engineering team designed a full-featured product in isolation. Let's get back to option A, which says that supplier designed a subcomponent. This means that supplier was included in the product design decision. That is why he has been asked to produce the subcomponent. This is a part of the collaborative product design approach, which is contrary to over-the-wall design approach. Therefore, this is not the correct answer. Let's see what we have in option B. Formal design team includes supplier. Again, this is true for collaborative product design, where all the departments and entities are working together while designing a product. Therefore, this is a collaborative design approach, and which is contrary to over-the-wall approach. Option C. Supplier plays no role in design. Please recall the definition of over-the-wall design approach. In over-the-wall design, departments and entities are not integrated. They don't play any role in designing a product. Therefore, this can be the correct answer. Option D. Supplier informally makes recommendations to design engineers. In this particular option, supplier is making an informal recommendation to design engineers, which means that the supplier is somehow involved in the product design, which again concludes that the statement is supporting collaborative design. Let's review all the given choices to conclude the answer. In option A, B, and D, supplier is contributing to the product design, which is a collaborative approach, whereas option C talks about excluding the supplier entirely from the product design, which is true for over-the-wall design approach. So definitely option C is the correct answer. Question 8. Implementation of supply chain applications based on which of the following technologies is most likely to have the lowest fixed costs? Option A, best of breed packages. Option B, software as a service. Option C, one integrated package. Option D, service oriented architecture. Let's evaluate option A, best of breed packages. Actually, best of breed packages is a concept or an idea of selecting a software for a particular function. For example, if I'll ask you to choose warehouse management software, then you might do a little research and come up with the decision that XYZ software is the best software for warehouse function in the market. As the name suggests, it is just an idea of choosing the best software among others. It has nothing to do with the lowest cost. Therefore, this cannot be the right answer. Option B is software as a service. Software as a service, or SaaS, is a way of delivering applications over the internet as a service. Instead of installing and maintaining expensive softwares, you simply access them over the internet, freeing yourself from complex software and hardware management. Software is licensed on a subscription basis and is centrally hosted in software as a service environment. Once your project is finished, you can stop using this service. Therefore, it is cheaper as compared to the traditional approach of buying a software, paying an IT guy to maintain it, waiting for installation and updates, managing product licenses, etc., 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 various other troubleshootings. Since software as a service, SaaS, has the lowest fixed cost, therefore this is the right answer. Facebook, Netflix, and Amazon Prime. These are few examples of software as a service. Let's have a word on option C and D as well. Option C says one integrated package. One integrated package is a made-up term and has nothing to do with the lowest cost. Option D is service-oriented architecture. Service-oriented architecture is a way to make software components reusable using the interfaces. Again, it has nothing to do with the lowest cost. Let's move on to the next question. Question 9. Which of the following outcomes is an expected benefit of effectively implementing supply chain event management software? A. Notification of variances from plans are triggered. Option B. Inventory data are captured in real time. Option C. Files are transferred from one corporation to another. Option D. Communication protocols between companies are standardized. Let's evaluate option A. Notification of variances from plans are triggered. Okay, let me start my answer with an exam tip here. Okay, it's a very important tip. Whenever you see the word trigger mentioned in your exam question or in the given choices, immediately connect it to supply chain event management, which is also known as SCEM. Let me rephrase my statement again. Okay, whenever you see the term supply chain event management, immediately look for the keyword trigger in the given choices. Now let's discuss what is supply chain event management. It is the term associated with the supply chain management application where users can flag the occurrences of certain supply chain event to trigger some form of alert or action. For example, you can implement SCEM on your inventory management system. When the stock level of a particular item reaches a specified point, you can program SCEM to immediately trigger an action like raising an alarm or placing an order directly to the supplier. Option A talks about the variance and a certain action associated with it. Therefore, this is the correct answer for this question. Let's see what we have in option B, C and D. B says inventory data are captured in real time. Since you know the function of SCEM now, you can easily figure it out that option B, C and D are not related to the supply chain event management in any manner. Therefore, I am not going to waste my time evaluating these three options. Option A is the correct choice for this question. Question 10. Electronic data interchange reduces cost primarily through option A, adaptability across hardware platforms. Option B, simplified software development. Option C, standardization of trading document formats. Option D, replacement of proprietary systems. Let me define electronic data interchange, EDI, for you and let you figure out the answer of this question yourself. EDI is an electronic exchange of trading documents such as purchase orders, shipment notices, invoices, and other relevant documents in a standardized document format. Always remember that there is a cost involved in conversion of a document format. You might have to buy some exclusive software to change the format of each document, whereas EDI reduces the cost by standardizing the documents. Therefore, option C is the correct answer. I think there is no need to discuss option B and D, so we are going to end it here.